Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Good morning, everyone. Hare Krishna. We are continuing. We almost ended the chapter 3 yesterday. Chapter 3 talks about Namabhasa, Advaitacharya, and Maya. In the first part, we seen how Haridasa Thakur, when prostitute came and tried to disturb him, how he overcome as well as he transformed the prostitute, and also at the end we see how Maya came and tried to lure Advaita Acharya, and then Advaita Acharya still continue and Maya transformed or went away. And then we also talk about Advaita Acharya, how Advaita Acharya was preaching, and also as well as how he encouraged Haridasa Thakur, even though he's not from the Brahmana family. It's all about chanting or taking the holy name than just a caste or social qualification. So today's topic is continuing the same. Jayati Jayati Namananda Rupam Murare Viramita Nija Dharma Dhyana Pujadi Yatnam Katamapi Sakrudatam Muktidam Praninam Yat Paramam Amrutam Ekam Jivanam Bhushanam Me. All glories to the all blissful holy name of Sri Krishna, which causes the devotee to give up all conventional religious duties, meditation and worship. When somehow or other uttered even once by a living entity, the holy name awards him liberation. The holy name of Krishna is the highest nectar. It is my very life and my only treasure. This is from Brugad Bhagavatamrita by Sri Sanatana Goswami. The king again requested Haridasa Thakura, "Oh brother, just recite the confession from the Quran and you will have nothing to worry about. Otherwise, the Qazi and his men will punish you and you will be forced to recite the Quran anyway. In this way, you will be humiliated. Haridasa Thakura replied with absolute faith and conviction, "One cannot do anything other than what the Supreme Lord decides. Know for certain that the Lord awards the results of one's offenses. Even if my body is cut into pieces, I give up my life. I will never give up chanting the Lord's holy name." This is from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Adilila, chapter 16, text 90, 91 and 94. So next is a chapter 4, trial and tribulation and ecstatic manifestation. The Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata describes the extraordinary solitary bhajana of the Namacharya. Haridasa Thakura was living close to a remote village called Puliya near Shantipura, the home of Advaita Acharya. The following account of ecstatic symptoms manifested by Haridasa Thakura in the course of his daily practice of chanting the holy name is given by Vrindavana Das Thakura. Haridasa would continually wander on the banks of Ganges while loudly chanting the names of Krishna. Haridasa was most renounced in the matter of material enjoyment, and his mouth was always beautified with the chanting of Lord Krishna's name. He did not give up chanting the names of Govinda for even a moment, and as a result, he was constantly manifesting various ecstatic symptoms. Sometimes he danced alone, and sometimes he roared like a mad lion. Sometimes he cried loudly, sometimes he laughed loudly, sometimes he roared loudly, and sometimes he fell to the ground unconscious. Sometimes he would utter some unnatural sound for which he would later give some profound meaning. He manifested all the different ecstatic symptoms like crying, hair standing on the end, laughing, losing consciousness, and perspiring. As soon as Haridasa began to dance, the symptoms would all manifest in his body. Haridasa's entire body became wet as tears of love flowed from his eyes. Even stanch atheists would offer him respect. Even Brahma, Shiva were satisfied to see the wonderful manifestation of Haridasa's hair standing on end. All the Brahmanas of Pulia were overwhelmed upon seeing Haridasa. While Haridasa resided in Pulia, everyone there developed a great faith in him. Haridasa would regularly take bath in the Ganges and then loudly chant the names of Lord Hari while wandering about. It is useful to contrast the culture and society that Haridasa Thakura moved in with our contemporary versions. In modern societies, most people are either in their homes, in their place of work, in their automobiles, or in the bustling malls and supermarkets. Religious life is often confined to a ritual weekly observance in well-established institution of worship. A few who are viewed as eccentrics preach on the streets, but most people ignore them. In some cities, a few entertainers perform on the streets or in subways. However, most entertainment comes elegantly and expensively packaged via various modern media and is exhibited in tightly controlled stadiums and arenas. In Haridasa Thakura's time, the environment was quite different. The majority of people lived in villages or small towns. People had their windows and doors open. Birds, lizards, and other animals were free to go in and out of the homes. Sounds of street singers and chanters entered as well. There were traveling storytellers, fakirs, swamis, drama troupes, and others who provide entertainment for the people. Most entertainers like drama troupes and storytellers incorporated both religious and mundane themes in their presentations. Sometimes mendicants would sing the erotic spiritual songs of Chandidasa or Jayadeva. Some would cry out the names of Govinda. Some would sing Islamic themes or chant the Islamic names of God. This was the cultural background in which Haridasa made his home Pulia. Gradually, people came to understand that he was indeed a sadhu, a saintly person. In contrast to some of those who traveled, sang, and chanted, he did not care at all for his own livelihood. On even closer observation, the people of Pulia realized that Haridasa was situated in the topmost category of those who sincerely chanted the Lord names, sang about the Lord pastimes. One can only imagine how, in such a religious society, a common household might hear the names of Lord Haridasa Thakura passed by. People would consider themselves blessed upon hearing his pure, unmotivated, and uninterrupted vibration. They would sometimes marvel at his absorption in enjoyment of the same, and they would capture some of that enjoyment, and in some cases, by spiritually transfixed and transformed by the experience. Vrindavan Thakura emphasized that Haridasa communicated the enjoyment, the pleasure of name of Lord, and his audience received the experience not as mundane but as spiritual ecstasy. I think we can stop here. So yeah, as we're reading the chapter 4, titled Trial and Tribulation, Ecstatic Manifestations, you know, as Advaita Acharya was living in Shantipura and Haridas Thakur is in the village called Pulia, near Shantipura. And here it talks about the ecstatic symptoms, ecstatic manifestations of a sincere and high level devotee who's fully absorbed in the Lord's name and praising the Lord all the times. Um, we have seen here ecstatic symptoms like dancing, roaring like a lion, crying, laughing, and roaring loudly, and head standing on the end. And these are all the symptoms of manifestation which Haridasa Thakur shown. And and in the book, it is written that I know how the society now versus when the times of Haridasa Thakur. I think the in the modern times, there are less and less villages and small towns. Everybody's moving to the cities, and all the atmosphere is corrupted or polluted, and it's hard to find the nature. And whereas in Haridas Thakura times, it's quite different. Many people lived in the villages and small towns, and all the doors are open. Everybody can see what's happening and listen and share, and those are the times. Uh, People sing. There are people who do dramas and spiritual acts and all, and it's been told that people came to know that or understand that Haridasa Thakur is a saint. He's not an ordinary person, and because of his ecstatic symptoms, even the atheists also attracted or respected Haridasa Thakur for his service and for his chanting and other things. I think with that we can stop and start the chanting.